Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? Shoo, shoo, shoo! Shots. Explosives. Explosions. Hey, you can run, man.
Welcome back to Marv on Air. Today is Monday, February 20th, 2023, and we've got a very special show for you today. We apologize the extremely awkward intro, but that's a reference to Jonathan Gannon's first encounter with a Cardinals player, and boy, we will show you that in a bit. We're going to go over some of the XFL rules and how they could be affecting the NFL in the future. We're going to talk about the NBA All-Star Game a little bit, as well as, you know, maybe a little bit of Jonathan Gannon, and then a tier list. Vintage logo tier list. We're pretty excited about that. Over on the Cozy Couch today, we've got James and Redbone. How we doing, boys?
Pretty good.
Just peachy.
And then back behind the hut, which is, it should always be this way. I did take a stab at it on Saturday, and I think I learned.
Saturday? Wednesday.
No, Saturday I was behind the hut.
Saturday was a rough day. It was a rough day.
Red was hosting. I was behind the hut. It should never be like that again. But we have the producer back in studio, Alex Marv. How are we doing?
I'm back. It's all right.
It's good. We're glad you're back.
Clean cut.
I had to change the keybinds. You fucked a lot of things up, but
we're very appreciative.
I cleaned it up. So
very
okay.
appreciative of your work back there, Alex. It's a huge thing. So we're gonna jump right into the XFL. Okay, first weekend for the XFL of their inaugural season, which I don't know how that works because they've already been in commission. This is their third time. They were back in 2020. They took a run at it, but COVID kind of threw everything into a blender and didn't go well. So 3 big rules that people are talking about are the kickoff, the point after touchdowns, and in the event that you want to get the ball back after you score, their rules for that are a bit different than the NFL. So we can go ahead and start with the kickoff, right? What they basically did was they minimized the opportunity for injury by bringing all of the players extremely close to minimize high-impact collisions, and then they aren't allowed to move until the receiver catches the ball or the ball's been on the ground for 3 seconds or more. And then this also results in extremely high return percentages. And Redden brought up a good point. This could be just because it's the XFL and guys want to get their name out there. But I think it also allows for a little bit of, more precision with the play and how they want to run the ball forward. Alex, if you want to pull up the clip, this is a shot of one of the first kickoffs this year.
The XFL is underway.
Looks like, there's the kick. No one's even moved until he touches the ball, and he's able to take it out to the 30-yard line here. That's more than most NFL kickoff returns.
I think that's better.
You like that more?
I like that a lot more.
The side step before he makes it out to the 30-yard line.
They are kicking it off.
I think 35.
Yeah, so, everything's a little bit different in the XFL, but I like this a lot more.
Makes it out to the 30-yard line. Receive for Vegas.
You can get a touchback in the XFL, but currently,
I'm saying, is it?
Can't move until it's caught.
Is it common?
I will pull up. I've got the stats right here.
The side step before he makes it.
Go back to me because the camera looked like it was a little bit zoomed out, but in the XFL in 2020, which was their last full season, 97% of returns kickoffs were returned. So that's like 97 out of 100 kicks. That's a lot of kicks. This year in the NFL, can we get a guess on how many you think it was, percentage-wise?
37.
Wow. 38.
Oh, whoa.
38% of NFL kickoffs were returned, which is pretty low. I brought this up in the morning lift this morning. If a kickoff is on in the NFL, what are you doing? Nothing. You're in the other room still grabbing your chips and dip. You do not care about the kickoff because then they're going
to go to a 5-minute commercial break.
They go to
anyways,
commercial right after. So it doesn't even matter. It's a completely irrelevant part of the game. In my opinion, the least relevant play in all of football. The punt follows it up closely, but when you look at the graphs online, they've tracked all these players with the new next-gen stats. The return paths of kickoffs, they're so boring. It's just running in a line, basically. And when you look at like Kadarius Toney's punt return in the Super Bowl, and really when you break it down to every single punt return, there's always like some sort of switch of field or an elite blocking pattern that opens up a huge hole. It's always a lot more exciting to watch the punt returns and the kick returns. I think this is a good way to open up possibilities for better kick returns and more like exciting action.
I think it could be a lot more rewarding for the guy that gets past, because it just seems like in the NFL they get stopped within 7 yards of, like, I don't know what yard it actually is,
Yep.
but it seems like they get stopped in the same place every single time. If the offense learns like a great blocking technique or whatever, and can distract the defense, I mean, that guy in the back can get past 11 guys within what is that? 25 yards?
It
30
definitely
yards?
allows for a lot more like this in your past everybody versus in the NFL. I feel like they have like more depth to it.
Yeah.
Just the way that like, because everyone from that far out, they're not all running the exact same speed. And I could see, like, if you clear those 10 guys, you're gone. There's no safety, really. I don't know if the kicker can make a tackle or not. But, Redden, how are we feeling about the safety implications of this? Is this something you think the NFL could take? Because they say all the time, NFL player safety is their main concern. And I think it's like 30% of concussions occur on kick returns, and like if 40% of those are being returned, it happens on plays that don't even get returned, right? So is this something the NFL could look forward to, maybe getting more returns and minimizing player unnecessary injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I like it a lot, really, from like a fan standpoint. And I think if you think about the NFL, they are big on this whole like player safety thing.
Yep.
So if they really want to put their money where their mouth is, maybe not money as much, but this is a way for them to show, hey, we're
Practice
actually
where they
serious.
preach.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
actually serious about this. And I think what's really cool about this from a fan perspective is that XFL, the coaching minds in the XFL obviously aren't as great as the NFL, otherwise they'd be in the NFL.
Right.
But if this does get implemented in the NFL, I think that some of these special teams coordinators that are in the NFL could draw up some interesting things,
Yes.
The blocking schemes are going to change a little bit, just given that the guy across from them is starting 5 yards away when the guy catches the ball.
Correct.
So I think that we could see a lot more explosive plays, and we would see a lot more kick return touchdowns, I think.
Yes.
Which brings up something that I just thought of just now is, okay, we have return men like Devin Hester, Percy Harvin in the past. If this gets implemented in the NFL, I would expect to see a lot of these NFL records on kickoffs be broken.
100%.
And then we're going to have the whole like, oh, well, it's a fraudulent record due to the rule change. But I think
that happens every year, though. When they
That's one of
expand to
the-
the
yeah.
17-game season, we saw that all over the place, and no one seems to care now.
I think this is one of the instances where the NFL needs to say, okay, we're going to forget about those records because this is a better way to do things. So, sorry, Devin Hester. Sorry to all you great returners of the past.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing.
We've got to get him in the Hall of Fame, I think, before that switches, because if his records get broke, I don't know if he'll have a shot. But go ahead, James.
Kick return, that's what it's called.
Yep.
I completely agree that it's by far the most dangerous play on the field.
Yeah,
I
fast
think
guys.
when I look on Instagram or whatever and I see somebody get laid out, for how many times they do a kick return in a game, it seems to be half and half with a kick return and then like a normal play.
Yeah.
First time I got the wind knocked out of me was on a fucking kick return. I thought I was dying.
They'll get you
I
quick.
had no clue. It was a big motherfucker that ran into me.
Well,
But
when you were talking about how if the coaches were as good as the NFL coaches, they would be in the NFL.
Yep.
If they change the rules, all the XFL coaches already know, like,
They have more
this
True,
is,
they'll have more
Yeah.
they
experience with
already
it.
Yeah.
know, like, how it
So
runs.
you could definitely see a lot more upgrade from the XFL to the NFL. And
Yeah. Like,
No.
what are the odds that one just gets swapped out?
or just signed for that reason alone, right? The special teams coordinators from the XFL might just get signed just because they'll have more experience with it than an NFL head coach. Now, that kind of change is going to draw a lot of response from old people in the NFL community. I hate to be that guy, but real, like, this is how the game should be kind of
traditionalist.
Traditionalist is a good way to put it. And I think you're going to see that exact same response from the after a scoring play when you're allowed to try to get the ball back, right? Like an onside kick in the NFL. Switching it to what the XFL is doing in the NFL would absolutely, those guys would, their minds would be exploded, right? So what the XFL has done is in the fourth quarter, if you just scored and you want to get the ball back, you are allowed to attempt a 4th and 15 from your own 25. If you get it, you keep the ball, you're rolling. You know, I think you get it right where the play ends. So if you get 18 yards, you'll get it on your, that's a 38. I don't know exactly what that math is, but
math is hard.
Yeah, I don't really
hard.
major in math, but that's something that we saw this weekend. The St. Louis Blackhawks? Battlehawks.
Dope name.
Sweet name. They were down 15-3. Is that right? Yes, 15-3 with 3 minutes to go. They scored a touchdown and got the 3-point conversion. We'll get to that in just a second. They scored a 3-point conversion, go for 4th and 15, get it, and they score another touchdown to win the game. I personally think this is a great way to open up more possibilities because when you look at the statistics of the onside kick, only 5% were converted last year. It just, to me, it feels like if you're lining up for an onside kick, like, yeah, there's excitement if you get it, but deep down you're like, it's over.
Yeah, it's a Hail Mary before a Hail Mary.
Exactly, and a lot of times it is exactly that. Like, there's only like 30 seconds left. They get 2 failed plays and end up throwing a Hail Mary anyway, so it doesn't really end up being a whole lot. I like this idea, but I don't know if the 15 yards is quite enough. 4th and 15 for the Chiefs might not be that unattainable.
That's what I was going to say. The NFL players are going to be clearly better than the XFL players.
Right.
I think it's like the risk return thing, though, because if they don't convert, then the other team has the ball at the 25. They're already in field goal range.
Right.
True,
but I wonder if it might be a 4th and 20 situation.
At least. I'd say 25 to make it out like...
Because you want the odds
that's too long.
You want the odds relatively comparable, I would think. You know, you don't want to convert on 65% of 4th and 15s and then only 5% of onside kicks are converted. Because in the XFL, you do have the option. And if you want to go for it outside the 4th quarter, you still have to do the onside kick. But I don't think you want it like 5% and 7%. Maybe it'd be a little more exciting, but the risk return, you're right. Like getting the ball on, they'll get the ball on like the 50-yard line as opposed to the 25 for a 2% increase. No one's going to do that.
Yeah.
So
it'd have to be 20-25%, I think.
Yeah, it would have to be pretty close to where the defense is really going to have to show up and play. And boy, just saying that, thinking about how long the defense is going to be on the field, that whole first drive, and then they have to stop them from getting the ball back. Then they got to stop them from scoring again. That would be major, I would think. You might see NFL coaches doing that at the beginning of the 4th just to try to tire out that defense. The way the coaching wheel goes, it's so intuitive, what's the word I'm looking for? Ingenuitive, where they're coming up with new stuff like all the time.
Yeah, because they keep banning it.
Innovative is the word. It's always changing, so I feel like we could see that where it's literally just an attempt to tire out the defense, even if they don't score, if they don't need those extra points. But
then the other team gets the ball at the 25.
Well, if you convert the 4th and 15, if you do it at a 60% ratio.
But who does that?
I'm just saying. No, exactly. We don't know. It's not in the NFL.
Yeah,
but if you were able to do that, you might see teams just doing it to try to keep the defenses tired because time of possession is huge in the NFL. We saw that in the first half of the Super Bowl. Do you think the 4th and 15 would make the NFL more exciting, or would it make it more just kind of like
more exciting?
Like, you think so?
If the ratios go down the way that they should, what'd you guys say? 25%?
Yeah, that would be a high end, I would think.
High
end.
17%.
Uh-huh.
If it was 17% and you see your team going for it, I mean, shit. You'd be fucking standing up.
Well, I feel like as a guy who's down, like as a rooter of that team, you'd be almost more like, okay, we got a shot.
Yeah.
Versus when you like score and you're like, we need to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, it's never gonna
I think
happen.
it would really break up the pattern of the game.
In the approach, especially gambling would the odds at the end of the game would really change. I think it'd be a really interesting way to approach, kind of schematically the end of the game. I thought you had a point there, Red.
No, I don't. I don't have anything on it. I like the idea a lot.
I think it's a really cool idea. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out the rest of the XFL season. But this is actually after the point after touchdown conversion, which I just kind of mentioned. In the XFL, there is no kicking of field goals.
Okay, wait. Before we get to that, I'll roll the video of the 4th and 15.
Oh, good call. Yeah, I forgot we had that.
Make
So
sure
we
the
can
audio's down. We had to complain about that.
It should
earlier.
be off.
Audio
I already
is
looked
down.
at it, but this is...
So this is the Battlehawks going for it on 4th and 15 from their own 25. Steps up, rolls to the right, hits what looks like a tight end for a heel touch kind of grab there. And you can see they're down 3 at this point in the game with a minute and a half to go. So it's still a tough situation to be in, but this significantly raises the possibility of St. Louis coming back as opposed to kicking it off and needing to get a 3 and out, use all their timeouts. Then you've got a minute or 58 seconds to drive the whole field with no timeouts. And maybe there's an element of that too, where in the NFL you should be able to, those game-winning drives are really worth something, as opposed to they might not be worth as much after if that rule change was implemented. But it's definitely, I think it's more electric. I think it'd be really cool. We won't see it in the next probably 5 years. It depends on what happens in the XFL too, the rest of the season. But it would be a really cool change, I think. As far as the point after touchdown goes, like I said, there are no kicks. It's only going for it. I think we saw this in, maybe it was the XFL I'm thinking of, but what was the fan-controlled football league? Do you remember that when Johnny Manziel was running that? I think it was the same thing in that league as well.
Was that the USFL?
I love that league.
It's different than the USFL because I think players or the fans were actually deciding like what the plays were. It was a small market league, but I think they did the same thing. It was like before the game they voted on like plays and all that kind of stuff. But it's kind of the same concept, right? So there are no kicks at all. Like in the NFL, you kick for a 1-point conversion after the touchdown, or you can go for 2 from the 2.5 3-yard line. In the XFL, you can go for it from the 2-yard line to get 1 point, from the 5-yard line to get 2 points, and the 10-yard line to get 3 points. So that opens up possibilities where we were talking about a pre-show, right? Chiefs are down 17. They go down, score a touchdown, get the 3-point conversion, get the 4th and 15, and then they go down another touchdown on 3, and you've already won. You were down. That's 3 scores in the NFL, and it knocks a whole score off the board.
To me, I think it would be interesting, like especially in the NFL. I think what they would need to do in regards to the point after touchdown is that the 1-point conversion should be from the 2-yard line.
Yep.
If they're going, the 2-point conversion, I think, should be from the 10-yard line.
Okay.
And then maybe even make the 3-point conversion from the 20. Because I think if it's how the XFL has it now, I don't see very many coaches. I don't think it would make sense to go for the 2-point conversion in my mind, because like, is your play like from the 2-yard line you can run the ball.
Yeah.
At the 10-yard line versus the 5-yard line, how much is your play call changing? You know,
right.
How many 5 to 7-yard plays do teams really have?
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that many. I think a lot more teams would just opt to go from the 10-yard line.
And this is definitely one of those rule changes I don't see the NFL making. The other two I could potentially like the 4th and 15 way out there. The kickoff I think is a very real possibility because it affects the safety so much. But this one I don't think will change just because the XFL is its own league. It's supposed to be more exciting. The players aren't as good, so you need to add elements of the game that are actually changed as opposed to like traditional football. I don't think this one will change, but it is a very interesting. It adds like, it's almost like the 4th and 15. Just adds like you never know what's going to happen at the end of the game. I think the XFL commissioner said you're going to go for 1 every single time until it comes down to a scoring situation where you are down 17 or you are down 9, at the end of the game and you need to tie it up. And if you miss, so there must not be field goals. Are there field goals in the XFL?
I don't think so.
It doesn't sound like it. Maybe there are, but that would certainly add a wrinkle into things as far as going for 3. If you miss, then you can't get a field goal. I don't know the actual rules that well, but I do have the rules pulled up here. The biggest ones, the double forward pass. That one is certainly interesting.
I like that one a lot.
That's a cool one. It allows for because we see it in the NFL, the
Can you
backwards.
explain that?
So the double forward pass, you can do a double pass in the NFL as long as you pass it backwards the first time, then it's considered a lateral. In the XFL, it has to be behind the line of scrimmage. Then it doesn't matter if it's 1 degree back or 1 degree forward, or maybe they do a 15-yard drop. They throw it 5 yards behind the line. That's a forward pass, but they're still behind the line. Then you're allowed to throw it forward again.
Okay.
Right. So it doesn't. I mean, we see it in the NFL, but we also see plays where it's like, oh, he meant to throw it backwards, but the way the play ironed out, he was 2 yards ahead of the thrower, and that whole play gets negated. I don't think it's going to change in the NFL, but it's cool that the XFL is
I think it should.
You think it should?
Well, the play that I think about the most, with that rule in mind, is a lot of teams already run halfback slip screens, where they're pretty much going to let the D-line through on purpose. Then they're going to have the quarterback take a 5-step drop, throw it over top. But then DBs also, if that running back is then able to throw a pass to a receiver, those DBs have to stay in coverage.
Yeah, then
which makes the screen itself way more
dangerous.
And you're essentially, the offense would be able to run an RPO there, where you need the running back to be coached in, okay, you catch the ball. If this guy's open, throw it. If not, take it.
Imagine Christian
That'd be
McCaffrey.
great.
Christian McCaffrey could light defenses up with that because they're basically left with what? Like, depending on the front they're running, if they're running a 4-2, they're basically left with 2 linebackers to stop Christian McCaffrey, or a DB comes in, a nickel comes in, and it's way over the top touchdown. So that would be insane. If I didn't think about the screen like that, I was only thinking out wide. That's an interesting aspect to it. It is like an RPO then at that point without any linemen.
It would change the game. Like, it would be like a 2.5 window, but it would all of a sudden be like 7-on-7, really.
Yeah.
Like, it's like this guy with the ball able to potentially throw it or run it, there's really only like 6 or 7 defenders in play because the rest, if you run the screen right, are out of the play.
Yeah. It's interesting to think about it, kind of like how would the NFL coaches who are so smart and ahead of the curve, how would they use that? And that's probably one of them. I would think that you got to
like those like bubble screens to receivers. Those
they go for what, a yard?
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about those too much. It would be the halfback slip screens that I think would be really, really cool.
Yeah.
Or even like a tunnel screen on a receiver coming in. He catches the ball on backside receivers, running a post or something.
Yeah.
And he can flip it quick, but I don't think on bubbles we'd see it too much.
It doesn't say it here in the rules, but it looks like it'd be cool if you did like a forward pass or a backwards pass, and then he could like back up to a forward pass that was the other forward pass, right? So the first pass was actually backwards, which didn't count as a forward, and then you just get so deep at that point. It'd be
really interesting on like end of the game scenarios when like, okay, the line of scrimmage is established here.
Yep.
But like the plays where they're just throwing it around,
Yep.
That'd be really interesting when guys are getting potentially out of position, and moving around. If you were able to keep the ball behind the line of scrimmage,
oh yeah,
you could have it just opens up a ton of possibilities.
Yeah.
How often does the NFL make game changing rules
changes?
like this?
Never.
Yeah.
I mean, you see them sometimes a lot with the ones they made with kickoff. I don't think they're game changing, but they've done a lot to the kickoff as far as like there's no 5-yard run up anymore.
Which doesn't really change that much.
It changes nothing, but like there have been rule changes. Obviously, they're looking at eliminating the 3 to 4 man push behind the quarterback. I was chatting with some football guys this weekend. They were saying that it used to be completely illegal to push anyone who had the ball as an offensive player, which to me is crazy because like when you get into those scrums, it's just both sides are pushing, and that was illegal at the times. I don't know when this guy would have been watching football. It would have been a long time ago, and I was like, dang, that guy he's just gonna get plowed. Like he has no support behind him. But the other rule changes I want to talk about really quick are the overtime and the instant replay. So the overtime is much different than the NFL, and the postseason rule changes for the overtime I think are good. Yep. I don't think the NFL overtime is perfect by any means. I'd like to get your guys' opinion on the XFL's run at it. So it's alternating attempts from the opponent's 5-yard line. So it's very similar to the college where it's from the 25, right? Isn't that what it? Or is it 20?
20, I think.
The 20. So you can't still get a first down. And then there's 3 attempts per team, 2 points per score, or until winner is decided. So like once it's outside of reach, then they just win. Do you think that's better or worse than the current NFL overtime rules?
I'd say definitely better. I think the current NFL rules are just horrible.
They're so bad.
Any move towards what the college game has, I think, is a good thing for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you want it. Kind of same concept with like the 1, 2, or 3 point conversion in the XFL.
Right.
Like you have to think about the play call that the coaches will use. Okay. And so from like the 20, you pretty much have your entire playbook.
Yep.
If you're doing
Still
it from the 5,
you
don't. You're in goal line scenario where you can only actually go 15 yards downfield.
Yeah.
So you lose a lot of the field.
It really kind of singles out teams like the Chiefs. Like the Chiefs would be unstoppable in overtime in that kind of situation as opposed to like teams that are, they all, like the Broncos last year where they have like 15% of their red zone drives ended up in touchdowns. They would be shot in overtime. So I could see like where it's like very decided already, right? Like if the Chiefs are playing the Broncos, it's going to be the Chiefs win automatically. If the Broncos get the ball with the current NFL rules, like they can at least go down, maybe get a field goal. Like either way, I think Chiefs are going to win that game.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Where it's just a lot more like heavily weighed towards one team in that kind of situation.
But I think rule changes where it favors teams who are willing to innovate is a good thing.
Yes.
Like I don't think
change
that
the game more.
Yeah, the NFL rules should not be like oh, well, we need to protect the shitty fucking Denver Broncos.
Right, yeah.
Like, no, we should move towards a game that's more exciting and more innovative like what the Chiefs play.
Yeah.
And the rules should reflect that.
I'm 100% with you. And the instant replays, I think, are very... I'm just going to read it word for word here, okay? Instant replay. Centralized replay with all plays subject to review from the replay official. Replay may correct errors on non-reviewable plays, player safety at any point during the game, and any issue in the last 5 minutes of regulation plus overtime. Head coach may challenge one on-field ruling per game, including those involving a foul or potential foul, and the final ruling made by designated members of officiating department in central location. So this, I think, it needs to be much closer to this in the NFL, right? The way the NFL does officiating is so whack to me, with the no head coach in the last 2 minutes. The head coaches can't challenge at all is bizarre to me. It's literally left 100% up to the refs. And giving the head coach only one ruling challenge per game is... You wouldn't see that in the NFL probably, because you see challenges in like the second quarter, and those wouldn't be made in this situation. But it would allow for challenges in the final 2 minutes. And it says they can be made on penalties or potential penalties. So the Saints-Rams game, we would see a penalty, like a challenge block or whatever it would be, on that absolute annihilation of the Rams player, or the Saints player. The Rams guy hit him. Yep. So I think this is actually a good way to do it, and it's also talking about all rulings that are final are made from the central location. I think that's probably the best way to do it too. I think they have the Hawkeye system in the XFL. It's not talked about in this little blurb, but I think they also have that like super quick review. Oh, he was clearly out of bounds, run it back. The NFL kind of tried to run that this year. It wasn't nearly as clean as I would have liked it to be. I saw it sometimes. I didn't see it at others. I mean, there were some catches that were clearly out of bounds or drop. Like if you look at Devontae's catch in the NFC Championship, clearly dropped it. Hawkeye probably should have caught that. Allegedly, they didn't get to that camera angle in time. They were able to run another play, and it's negated, right? Once a play has been called, nothing's going to change. What could be better for the NFL officiating? Like, do you think any of these changes the XFL made should be implemented into the NFL? I think the NFL officiating has a long ways to go. I think everybody can agree on that. But are any of these changes helpful? Like, are they usable in the NFL?
I mean, to an extent. I actually really think, like, as much flack as we give NFL officiating, I think the way they do the whole challenge system is probably correct, where all challenges are initiated by the booth in the last 2 minutes.
Really?
I think that's probably right, just because I think that should be done regardless, almost. Like, the booth should be looking at things pretty much constantly regardless of the time in the game.
100%, yeah.
Like, I don't know why we only do it in the last 2 minutes. I like that the coaches can throw a challenge flag on a penalty. I do like that. I think that's important, and I think that would change a lot of different things. But the issue with that is like the Rams and Saints situation was so blatant that it's easy to say that one.
Yep.
If you think in a different scenario, like this past Super Bowl, right, where in live time you're like, no way. But if you go back and watch that on replay, it's like, okay, yeah, there was a penalty there. Mm-hmm. Same thing like with the O-line, the play prior. I'm sure there was also holding on that play. Can a coach throw a challenge flag and be like, check the O-line for holding?
You'd probably have to call out a single player in that situation.
And even then, though, it'd be so easy to just...
I think that's an interesting wrinkle. I like that. What if it's third down, you don't get the conversion, you still got your one challenge. Like, hey...
Yeah,
he's been holding them all game. Check 87, and they get it, right? They've been letting it go.
That's not like the integrity of the game.
That would be cool, though. I think
it would be awful.
Really?
I think I would hate it.
I think as a fan,
I would hate it.
If I got screwed over that way, I would be so mad. But it would be,
people would get screwed over every fucking game.
Yeah.
Even 100%. As a fan who wins that way, it's like, who cares?
Really?
That's not in the integrity of the game. Like,
well, that's every Chiefs fan right now, right?
Well, they have no integrity to begin with. So
fair enough. We can
then plays would just be like, oh, we don't have much time left. Let's get 7 yards. We'll call a penalty on whatever, and then we'll get another 5 yards, get us in field goal range or whatever. You'd be like, you wouldn't have been in field goal range if you didn't have that penalty or whatever the fuck.
Interesting.
It's more on the flip side of that, where it's like a player. It's like, okay, we're gonna have a player specifically try to get held here. So it's like, okay, we're going to have this D tackle try to get held when they're on, it's 3rd and 7 or whatever. Hey, buddy, it's your job to get held this play. So get held in case they convert so we can challenge it. And that's just bullshit.
And that is how the NFL is. They're very smart like that.
That's what would happen. You can't do that. That's stupid.
No, I know.
That's stupid.
It's interesting that you guys have such an adverse opinion to what, because I was like, dang, that would be so cool. I think that would be a really interesting wrinkle to it, and I guess that's why there's two sides to every single coin. But speaking of officiating, there was a lack thereof in the NBA All-Star Game. There was a lack of a lot of things in that game, is mostly defense. I don't have the exact score pulled up, but I know it was like 98 or 99 to 95 at the end of the first half. Jaylen Brown came out and said it was a glorified layup line. And the head coach of the Nuggets, I believe is what you said it was.
Yeah, it was the Nuggets.
He said it was the worst game of basketball he's ever seen. Okay? Now, we don't need to dwell on the game as much as I think we can look forward to the All-Star break as a whole. I feel like a lot of All-Star breaks are going down the hole. We've seen the NHL's has held its own. It's looking really good. I know you guys don't follow the NHL as much, but I saw everything they posted. It looked really fun, really light, like just some shooting competitions. I don't even know if they play a game. It was really like they brought on like celebrities out onto the ice, like creators who do all these like fancy trick shots. They were out there. It was a really cool way to do it. The NFL and the NBA All-Star have been criticized for years now as like just so much worse than what they used to be. And the head coach of the Nuggets said, I don't know how you can fix it from here. I don't know if you can. I really liked, personally, I guess I can get your guys' opinion on this, I really liked the innovation of playground style picking the teams as opposed to East versus West. It was getting really old with the East versus West, especially when you see like a loaded West versus a skimpish East in comparison. But what James, as a obviously you probably don't watch a lot of NBA. None. Okay, so what would be something you would just like the dunk contest has gotten so much flack recently. What's something you would be really excited to watch?
That white kid tore it up though.
He did. He played 2
Mac
games up
McCall
until this
or whatever?
point. Yeah, he made almost as much from winning that as he had his whole NBA salary up until
Dude,
now.
that shit was crazy. He's kind of ugly though, if you look at him.
Hey now.
Wow.
Got astray there.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Okay.
Good for him, but jeez.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not trying to hate on the guy.
Jeez.
I am though.
A little. Is there anything that, like, as that's who their target audience really is? I would assume for an All-Star break, they're just trying to bring in people who want to watch basketball.
Most people are expecting a really high tier,
high level play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. But I think a lot of these guys already have their bag. They have nothing to prove. It's not a regular season game. They're not in the playoffs.
Right.
They're not going to be considered to be traded or anything after the All-Star game. Right.
I wonder if you incentivize defensive plays monetarily, right? So like you get this many steals, you get this many blocks, you get this much.
Yeah, that's the only way I can see to do it and still like make it an all-star game.
So you're going to spend more money on the players just to get them to play right in an all-star game?
That's the only fix.
Fucking just get rid of the all-star game.
But you don't want to do that. That's the only cure I can think of is to pay them to play better.
That's the thing. Like I think the one thing the NBA has done well is branding it as All-Star Weekend. So there is things that happen on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's not just, one game because the game itself is awful.
Yeah.
And that's why having the slam dunk contest and the 3-point contest is cool.
Yep.
As much, crap as the slam dunk contest has got, that's the highlight of the weekend,
You see a lot of clips coming out of there.
Cool videos,
Yeah.
So
repetitive
monetize the side things rather than the actual NBA game, and then
I don't
know. It's
tough
just
one.
so shitty because those guys have no reason to work hard in that game.
Exactly. That's
they have
the problem.
zero reason. I wouldn't.
They're already
work
there.
hard.
They're already
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
I don't think you monetize the game. I think you monetize the dunk contest
That's what I
and the
just
3-point contest.
I just
but like
said
the
that.
NBA All-Star game, why would you? I don't see why you would add any monetary value to that. Really,
I don't think you could.
I like the format in All-Star games where the winner of the All-Star game gets home field or home court advantage in the World Series or championship game.
Oh,
That's my favorite stipulation about that, because then from a fan's perspective, that game actually has implications down the road.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So it actually matters who wins the game.
That is definitely an interesting wrinkle. Do you have something to add, Alex? You have the mic.
Yeah, so I was going to say, what if we just make it so we put all of the shittiest players out there and then we
God.
monetize it? We're like, if
No, I
you
actually
get-
like this idea.
Okay.
I like this
if
idea.
you make this many points or get this many steals and blocks and all that blah blah blah, then you get this amount of money, and everybody is going to be playing their ass off.
Okay.
'Cause
Or if you
Yeah.
don't, you go to the G
it
League.
would
Oh.
get-
Holy fuck.
That would be interesting.
They got to put food on their fucking table,
it would
dude.
get interesting quick because everyone's going to be fighting for that extra cash.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're
So it's-
already
you
at
can't-
all-star payments.
I say you can't call it the All-Star Weekend then.
What if
Unless
they-
you have
Ooh,
All-Stars doing
Here's an
the
Side
idea.
side
shit
stuff.
weekend.
Dancing with the Star. No.
Here's an
dance.
idea. What if we did an all-star game,
Yep.
playground ball, pick 'em, type thing.
As you do.
And whoever, they have advanced analytics now.
Yep.
So we know who has the best plus minus or whatever stat you want to base it off of.
Okay.
What if whoever has of the all-stars has the worst plus minus, worst rated performance in the all-star game, they are no longer available to their team for the rest of the year.
Oh.
They're done for the year.
Serious.
You
wrinkle.
have to, you have to play well in this, otherwise you're done.
Oh,
So,
that
I
would
guess,
be
yeah.
interesting. I don't know if you could do cut, but you could
But
do
you could
maybe
do,
cut
like,
off the
dock
bench
pay.
or X amount of minutes in a
yeah,
game.
he's got a 20-minute.
Cap.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
awesome.
that would be cool.
or
That's
you could-
actually probably the best idea we've come up with on here.
You could
But
have them docked
that's
for their pay.
threatening players.
Exactly.
Well,
Which
the
is-
issue with that actually,
that-
James has a good point. The issue with
Ethically
that,
speaking,
the issue,
that's not very good.
the issue would result in players not playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
To
would
not
have nobody.
jeopardize
to
and
do
if
it.
you don't play, then you have a 30-minute cap. So,
So it's
guess,
like,
welcome to death row.
It's like Hunger Games. Do you
Yeah.
compete and try to win it, or do you end up just taking the handicap?
Yeah, or we just bring up that stipulation at halftime.
Ooh.
Oh, that'd be so intense.
So guys who are in the hole start just balling out.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
cool.
awesome.
Guys on top are just whatever. That'd be sick.
That's what they should do on the flip. At halftime, it's announced if it's the best plus minuses either get to continue playing the season or they get a decent monetary incentive.
Gotcha.
So then ahead of the game, players are either do I want to attempt to win all this money, or
just
do I want to sit out and not risk it either way?
Gotcha.
Yeah, but every single game you'd have to switch it.
Yeah, it couldn't be the same.
Yeah, because otherwise they're just gonna be like, well, this.
Yeah,
is
it's
gonna happen.
random. It's
It'd just
lottery
be a-
ball draw.
Yeah.
Coin toss.
Well,
Oh,
speaking
that'd be
of
so intense.
speaking of monetary compensation, we can talk on Jonathan Gannon here. Jonathan Gannon is previously the defensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. He was offered. It just came out recently. He was offered more money from the Eagles to be their defensive coordinator than he was as the head coach of the Cardinals, right? So if the Cardinals offered him $10, the Eagles offered him $15. He still turned it down. He said, "Hey, I want to be a head coach." We were talking before the show. That's a sign of someone who's not going to be a great head coach. I'm not going to lie to you. That does not sound like a winning mentality when he's like, "Hey, we got a championship caliber team here. I'd rather go be my own. I don't run my own
He's chasing
team."
his bag.
He is, and props to him. Hey, I could not be an NFL head coach, but I don't think it's a great sign. And we have that video of Jonathan Gannon's attempt to try and collect the locker room. Alex, if you want to play it.
Hey! What's up, man? How you doing? Good. Good.
Yeah, this is an awkward golf.
He's an odd-looking dude.
Explosives. You can run. What's up?
Oh my God, it's so hard to watch. We can only watch it one time. But would you say he was an odd-looking dude?
If he walks into a wall with a full erection, he'll break his nose.
Oh my. That is a bold statement, but we think he
I
looks
like-
like Marv from
Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers.
Yeah,
he's
that's what it is.
They're like twins, dude. But and that's not the only video the Cardinals have released of Gannon. He also has video where he's about to leave the building, allegedly. Right, this is not staged at all. He's about to leave the building, and someone's like, "Hey, Kyler's in the weight room," which we know that's a complete lie. Kyler's never in the weight room, and he takes off running. And he gets in there. He's just clapping what do you think? 8-9 claps. We watched it before.
It was very awkward.
Way too many claps, and then he daps him up, and then just has nothing to say. He's like, "Hey, let's win this year." That's it. What is? I don't. The
It honestly-
attempt to gather the locker room is there, but it is not being executed correctly.
everything I've seen from him, now that I like reflect on it a little bit, it feels like he's like almost sizing him up. He's like, let's meet you, and then I'm just gonna like look at you and just try to get a read for you.
Yeah, he's not
like,
there.
That's it.
He's not there to actually like know them. He's like, all right, you gonna be good for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like what, 6'2"? All right, you
Yeah,
got some
yeah.
potential.
There's
How
gotta
many
be
years you got
something
left on
wrong
the
up there,
contract?
man.
Oh my!
There's gotta be some cross wiring. From that one video, he seems so socially awkward, but at the same time,
he
he's
must
just
be a hell of a coach.
I was gonna say he must be really fucking good at his job.
yeah,
Well,
clearly.
who's really good at their jobs and socially awkward.
A lot of people.
That's like the majority,
true,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah. I feel like people who are really good at their
Steve
jobs.
Jobs.
Yep.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Gates.
Yep, I could definitely see it leaning that way. But I just wanted to touch on that because it's definitely one of the more prominent media things right now is his inability to be smooth with his players. I'd be interested to see. Redden and I were talking before. What did you say about the potential trajectory of the Cardinals season in comparison to last?
Well, there was a Cardinals fan, I believe, on Twitter who was like, I can't tell if I love this guy or hate this guy. I don't know if he'll be better than Cliff Kingsbury or not.
Yep.
And to me, it's like, I don't know how you potentially get worse than Cliff Kingsbury. I guess you turn into the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
But, like,
They're good
outside
now.
of that's true. But outside of that, like, they have a pretty decent roster. He's a defensive-minded coach, which I think is interesting. It'll be interesting to see who they bring in as their OC. But
Okay. Sorry, no one knew
train
that
of
was
thought
coming.
gone.
Yeah, literally.
But no, I think I mean he did a good job in Philadelphia.
He
So
did.
I think he's kind of like a Mike McDaniels hire where it's like, yeah, he's kind of weird, but he has a decent resume and he's a good coach. So
Yeah.
he's not swaggy like,
He wants
Mikey
to be.
D,
He wants
but-
to be Mikey D, but he can't get there.
yeah,
Now, from what we've
we
seen.
can watch his career though with a lot of great intrigue.
Yes, we
I
have
think that's
great
the word.
hopes for Gannon.
I'd love to see him be really good.
Oh,
that'd be
imagine.
hilarious.
I want to see more of these videos. If he stays good, we get to see these all the time.
They like win a Super Bowl and his celebrations are just like pew pew
Yeah.
pew pew.
If they
That'd be
win, I bet he
great.
will. I bet he will.
That would be great.
100%. Well, with James just stepping out, that kind of throws a. I don't know what just happened, but we're gonna go ahead and go to the tier list
Get
here.
the tier list loaded.
Yep. So we're gonna do a
Bring it up.
ranking of some of the oldest, some vintage logos in the NFL. James sounds like he might be stepping back in here just in time.
All right, so give me a second. I do need to just
Jim's?
pull it up.
I was
Yep.
fighting.
Alex is
Fighting
getting it
for my
pulled
life,
up.
y'all.
Just gotta edit the.
I let one rip or
Yeah,
what?
the camera.
Yep.
Because I don't
Gotta
know
go
what
pee-pee.
you did.
Well, when I was
actually-
back in the HUD, things got a little bit interesting. That is for sure.
I guess so.
Back in the lab.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but these logos are very old. And while we're going through this, we can talk about our kind of criteria for these, right? Okay, so we're going to base this on the logo itself, so not its iconicness at all, just the actual appearance of each logo, and maybe the colors, the intricacy of it, the closeness to
Overall dopeness rating.
overall dopeness. We can give an actual grade for all of those.
Are we going to grade these on how close they are to what they are?
No.
No.
Like today?
No, it's literally
Because,
just
like-
how cool the logo itself is.
So is Seattle still going to be in the D tier?
Yep.
Yeah,
Looking
probably.
right now, yes.
It does appear that way.
Yep.
So
Basically, there I seen it. What
At
did
least-
you do in here?
I have no idea, honestly.
You should have seen him try to run the show on Saturday.
It was
awful.
interesting.
I
Anyone?
watched it a bit.
It was almost as bad as me trying to host.
It was
Almost.
know what? It
Not
does-
quite, but
not our best show.
almost.
It doesn't matter. They can't currently see the two far right ones fully, but as
Well,
they,
it'll
as they
get
swap
cycled.
through, it'll
I
be
think
fine.
they'll
Sure. If you just want to
survive.
edit my
Yep.
camera while you're doing the editing, we can.
Yep, I'll.
This is a live look at Alex's production ability here, putting you on
Great,
showcase. But yeah, so I think Red and I have our favorites picked out.
Let's just start at the top. Let's start with Arizona.
We can go ahead and start with Arizona.
I don't like Arizona's.
C.
Okay.
Any opposition to C?
I don't think C is a bad
No.
spot. I do not.
I think C for now.
Yep,
Get a
leave it-
baseline
Put her
built.
in C, and Falcons is obviously a D. That's
There
horrible.
should be
Oh,
something
that's
lower.
awful. You can barely tell that that's a Falcon.
This logo I actually like.
What is
yeah,
it?
I like that as a B.
Baltimore Ravens.
Yep,
That's
that's
you
not
like
bad.
that it's a B?
I like that as a B. for sure.
What do you think, Little Marv?
Oh, I thought he said I liked it because of the B. Or
Oh,
something.
No. I
I
like
was
it
like,
at B.
why
It's
is
not.
that?
It's not as good as some of the other ones, but
yeah,
it's up
I think
there.
it's a high level B.
Bro,
For
what is
sure.
this?
That's got to be D.
F. D.
Add
Really?
add the
Yes.
tier.
I got that in C. At least you can tell what the fuck it is.
It's
guess.
just red.
Yeah, but bro, what?
If I draw a stick figure,
Maybe
you
put
can
it at
tell
the
what's
bottom
that.
of C.
You
But you
might
can
think
tell
that's an
it's a
AT-AT from Star Wars, dude.
Let's put it at the
Me?
bottom of C,
Anybody.
and we can revise.
We'll
Okay.
revise.
Panthers, I like as an A.
the
Panthers
same
is good,
thing.
but
I'm good with that.
weren't Panthers
just-
part of the expansion?
I believe they were an expansion at one point. Yeah.
This one looks
But-
good.
We're not talking about iconicness.
Yeah, we're
I
just
know,
talking
I
You're the
know.
one bitching about iconicness.
Strictly-
No. The newer ones are gonna have cooler logos. That's all
Oh
I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure.
Bears.
So
I
okay.
really like the look of the Bears.
I like Bears
It's
as
B or
an
A,
A.
in my
I
opinion.
like it as an A.
Okay.
I like it as an A.
All
Before
right.
or after Panthers, though?
Leave it there for
After.
now.
Okay.
Yep. Bengals.
I can barely
is-
tell.
It
Maybe
Maybe
it's
look
good.
at the old Bengals logo.
No, it looks good.
It might be
It's
better when
I
when
can't
it's
even
blown
see
up.
it.
Yeah.
Put
I
it
like
on
it
the
as
thing, you'll see it.
I like it as
I like B.
B.
Yeah.
Top of B. It's better than
He's got a
Baltimore.
helmet on his tail.
That is a sick
It's true.
logo. It's just
Is he holding the football? We'll pull it up later, but
Look
Yeah,
at that Charlie Brown. Dude,
this
he
guy?
looks
Is
like
this-
an elf.
Brownie the Elf? No, that's
Brownie
who it
the
is.
Elf. Yeah.
It's Brownie the Elf.
Not a big fan.
Not a fan. Interesting.
Really, dude?
I
It's
like
the head
it.
of the Buffalo logo.
Yeah, it's definitely a C tier, top of C.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
more intricate than the Cardinals logo,
oh,
but
top is here.
Yeah.
you might have to take the Cardinals down.
Yeah, I fucking hate when I have to do that.
Ooh,
Yeah,
Bengals
that's
is
not
crazy.
What? We've already talked.
I know.
He's got it
Bengals
pulled
is
up.
cool.
Okay.
Now he's
We'll go back to it.
We'll
the
come
boys.
I'll pull it up
This
on the
is
computer.
like
back. The Cowgirls.
alternative
What?
Yeah.
vintage
Let's
logo.
let's put them.
C. B.
Bottom B.
Bottom B.
I like bottom B. Denver is going in the D. Bottom
It's got more
C.
going, but
Bottom of C.
I don't know. What's
Any
he holding
opposition
in his
to-
mouth?
I got Lions
don't
in
know.
this.
Lions
Yeah,
are an A,
No.
Really?
not
It's
an
not an
S.
S.
Not an S. Look at
No
the rest
way.
of them. Definitely not an S.
It's the
I
same as
think
the one right
This
now.
one where my
it's not.
cursor's at
Just
definitely looks
about.
like an S.
That's an
Like
S.
definition.
Yeah,
and
we'll take it
depth
one
for
at
the
a time,
new
but
one.
you and I know.
Yeah, but
100%.
Green Bay, baby.
That's
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 a B.
better than the one
I
right
like
now.
it, bottom of the B. It's got Wisconsin. It's got a
Yeah,
football. But
I like that Wisconsin's
but there's
on it.
so much going on.
It's yeah. It's like why did they put them all right on top of each other like that? I don't really know. If there's a better way.
Baltimore Courts. That's the worst logo
Colts?
I've maybe ever
Baltimore Colts. Yeah, that's
Is
got to
he
be a D.
Jumping into a field goal.
Over the field goal.
seen. I think it's
it
like
looks
a equestrian
I don't
style.
mind
Yeah.
it.
Is this football or equestrian?
Yeah.
I like it more than. No, I don't.
Put it below the Falcons.
That's kind of
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
That is bad. Jags, I like as an A
That's an A.
for sure.
That's
I
ahead
got
of the
yeah,
that
right
in
there.
S.
Yeah,
That's
right there.
Right there.
unbelievable. It's better than
Chiefs,
Carolina.
Yikes.
That's way that's at least a C, maybe a D.
Bottom of C for now. Could
Yeah.
definitely move to
Dude,
top
that is
of
a
D.
that's a D tier.
So
I
okay.
can't even tell what
Put-
that thing is.
Put it. Yeah, I don't like how there's so many states. Why is Iowa on there? Like
I don't know.
It does not
Yeah.
add up.
I
Yeah,
think
it's not
was
at
that the
all.
first
I
Midwest
didn't even
team?
notice that at first.
There's so
Iowa,
many
Missouri.
states.
I think that was the
Arkansas.
first
It
like
includes
Maybe.
Arkansas.
Maybe.
Okay.
one of the,
Yeah.
one of the
That is
first
last
Midwest
now that I
teams
look
to
at it.
represent that area.
Throw that at the bottom. All
Yeah.
right, the Chargers, the LA Chargers.
I actually kind of like that a lot.
Is that what that is?
I don't mind
Yeah.
that. I like the shield crest.
Okay.
I like that. I'd say it's B.
Is
Yeah.
that a dragon on it? What
Maybe
is that?
higher? It's a horse, I think.
I think it's a dragon.
Oh,
I think it looks like a
Is it a
dragon. Kind of has
Gryffindor?
horn.
Is that
Yeah,
a
it
thing?
does.
interesting.
A Gryffindor?
It
Oh,
kind
it-
of looks more like a dragon.
Kind of does look like a dragon.
But it doesn't have teeth, so I'm not gonna say it's a dragon. And there's no flames.
there's no fire. There's
But
a
it is a
lightning bolt.
shield.
There is a lightning bolt. Yes, there is a
And a
shield.
shield.
They always
Um,
do say dragons have fire.
They do.
I got that above the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Lizard.
that's above the boys.
I was definitely about to put them above Green Bay. I like them there as well. The Rams. This is bottom of C. It's not as bad as the Falcons.
Okay, yeah, that's
If
fair.
we're gonna
That's
put that over, I can't put that
I mean,
over
isn't it just
fucking
kind of like their
Buffalo.
older logo, the one they literally just
So put Buffalo at the bottom.
Yeah.
Of C. Yeah. It's like they kind of went away from it and came back to it, kind of.
Well, how
Raiders.
old are these logos?
There's not a date on them or anything.
yeah, they're
This is
different.
just the same thing,
They're
so.
not all from the
No,
same time
I-
period.
I think the
I-
Raiders, from these logos at least, these guys rank far higher than what they
Okay.
would today.
Like a B.
I think they're B.
I like them ahead of the Cowgirls.
They're very similar to the Baltimore
Yeah.
and the Chargers there. So I'm okay
I
with
got-
that.
I
We got
got
a little
them
clumping
ag-
of shields.
I got them right behind the Bengals.
You think they're better than Baltimore?
I think they're better than Baltimore.
The wings are kind of weird on Baltimore, I guess. I can get behind that.
Well, they're the
I
Ravens.
didn't say that.
I kind of like them.
Yeah. It's just weird how they're like so far up. Why aren't they like kind of more out?
True.
That's my only gripe with it.
I
You
got
gotta fit it on
Miami
the
and
helmet,
S.
True.
I think it's more for the
That was-
symmetry of it.
Yeah.
Then it'd be a very wide logo.
True. Yeah.
I'm
I
glad.
mean, look
that-
at the Falcons though. Look how tall that thing is.
Yeah, that's why it's last.
Yeah.
dog shit.
It's
Alongside the ones that look like they were drawn like
by
by a
pencil.
third grader with pencils.
They look like they were drawn with an Etch-a-Sketch. They look
yeah, yeah, especially the Chiefs.
Those are rough. I like the Dolphins.
I'm glad
and
they
A.
That's
fixed
A.
That's definitely A.
I'm glad they
Behind,
fixed
behind
it.
the Lions.
Yes.
What?
What do you mean what?
That is a great
The
logo,
helmet looks
man.
fucking retarded on him.
It's iconic, but we're not
He's
measuring
a dolphin.
iconicism. I like it ahead of the Lions because it's got the little ring in the helmet.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if the Lions are that high for me. I might put them behind the Bears, but we can
Put
get
them
into
behind
that.
the Bears.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I
because
like-
they don't
still
have a-
love that
It's not
logo,
crawling
though.
over a football.
the bear is definitely cleaner.
The
Like,
bear is
this whole
nice.
thing is way cleaner than
It,
that.
it looks like they kind of tried to do the Detroit Lions logo with like a wax. It's like kind of fuzzy, so I don't like that. But we got Vikings in A or S. I mean, I think
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
intricate.
Easy.
It
Very,
hasn't changed.
You know what it is,
But it hasn't changed for a reason.
exactly. The
If it ain't
Patriots,
broke, don't fix it, baby.
another A or another S, top tier.
That's an S.
I agree.
Really?
That is the
100
S of
That's
S.
the S of
I
S.
think that's so good. I think that's
Dude,
better.
That's
that's double S.
Dude,
That's
I
like
think it's so
S2.
intricate.
Dude,
Yeah.
I feel
they
like
did.
it's too intricate.
No, it's intricate, but they did a great
Oh,
job.
it's so good.
Look at the
Yeah.
flag behind them. That is
Yeah.
sick.
This cut it to just the desk here so we can get a full
I
glory
gotta pull up
shot of
OBS.
just this flag. I wouldn't buy this flag for just the normal Patriots logo.
Here, yeah, you got a better look at the logo.
It is.
Correct them.
Yeah, there's the full page. Like, look at this. Like, I got this one in a little small guy. I got this guy in a full-size flag here. So that adds up. That's why this guy's an S.
I'm not a Pats fan, but I would buy that flag.
It's a cool flag. All right, we can go back to the tiers.
All right.
We're going to look at the Saints. Interesting one. I like it as a C or
I like it
bottom of
C.
B. I think it's
For me,
ahead
it's
of the
ahead
Cardinals.
Denver, at
It's
least.
definitely ahead of Denver. Dude, that little elf guy blows. He sucks.
Does
Not
it
a
help
fan
his
of
name's
Brownie.
Brownie.
I don't
Brownie's cool.
care.
Brownie is definitely a cool name. I like it there. I don't mind it there.
Giants bottom of D.
This is better than the NY though, for the record.
it's
Yeah,
it's the
it
best.
is.
It's the best in D.
Yeah, I mean, it's not creative at all, but it is not horrible.
It is the
this
best
one-
in F tier.
This one looks great.
Yeah, I like the Jets logo a lot.
Where are we putting it again?
Top, you'll just have to
Top.
move the foul. Or there you go.
Oh,
Okay.
Jets is real simple, but it's far better than
It doesn't
the Red
look-
Bison.
It doesn't look like a scary jet. That's my only
No.
gripe.
No,
with
it looks like a commercial airline.
But
yeah.
like
I
they
want a
made this.
bomb falling out of the bottom.
Yeah,
of that
that's
thing.
what it looks like.
Like the Macomb Bombers.
Yes, it is a lot like that.
How do you guys know the Macomb Bombers?
That's
Cousins
where
from
Leighton's
Leighton. Okay, I was thinking.
Yeah, I like them in top of B. Or is that too high?
That's too high.
Don't
for me.
put
Too
that.
high.
It's
I
not
put
a,
it
Behind the
I
shield
put it ahead of
Yeah.
Cowgirls.
Yeah,
yeah.
behind all
here.
the shields. Yeah.
Simple.
Eagles.
That's pretty good.
That's
I'd say
sick.
ass.
That is.
I can't even.
That is so cool to me.
You
I
can
like
look up
them
the
in
You
old
can't tell
like
that that's an eagle?
I
maybe
can tell that it's an eagle. It's just so pixelated and small.
it's definitely
Well, that's 'cause
ahead.
it's here.
It's more intricate than the Dolphins, so I like them between the Jags and the Dolphins.
I would agree.
Like it's holding a football, so it's
Oh,
got
that
the
thing
same
is bad.
element.
That's an S, bro.
It's got the
That's what I was
same
thinking.
element of
That's
the
an
helmet.
S.
Maybe the top of A then.
It's
At least.
The
We'll go
Panthers
back
are
and
artificially high.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
should be below, I think, Miami in my
I'm gonna
mind.
be honest.
Okay.
I don't know what the fuck this is.
That's a
look-
Steeler.
That's the
the Steelers.
Steelers,
I was gonna say, but looking at it,
but it
I don't-
kind of looks.
Is that
dope.
a
So
guy or a little bear?
I think it's a guy. My thing
It's a
with it
guy.
is that's a great logo for merch. That is not a great logo for a
No.
football helmet.
yeah,
No.
stick that on a helmet. They're gonna be like,
But
from,
I-
from
I
the TV
feel-
stands, they're gonna be like, what is going on
What
here?
is going
I
on?
feel like that's the same for the Patriots.
No, that's sick.
absolutely not. You're wrong.
look at the old shitty camera quality, and you can still tell it's that logo.
100%. I think the intricacy lands it at least in B.
Yeah, I was gonna say ahead of Cowgirls.
Yeah. The Cowgirls
No.
just
Cowgirls
it's like
is a
ahead of
statement for
Cowgirls,
me.
ahead of
It's a
Cowgirls.
statement for B.
Yeah. It is.
Statement for me.
I like it there.
Might need to bump Cowgirls down,
To top
Fine,
of C.
or just D. I'm
Move-
good with D.
Move that goofy little elf down to D, man. That thing blows.
Not down to D. It's at the top of C right now.
Yeah, it's
Put
if
it behind the
anything,
Saints. Put it
I'd
behind
put
the
yeah,
Saints.
I'd put it there.
I like
Yeah.
the intricacy of it, but it's just like, why is he so disproportionate?
Why is he an elf?
Yeah, that's a good
They
question
should've been
too. The
midgets.
the Cleveland
like
Elves.
Browns.
Because of the Cleveland Elf scare of 1833.
I like the colors for the Seahawks logo a
That
lot.
looks-
Dude,
no, I
that-
hate this actually.
It's so bright.
It's just the way they did it is bad.
yeah, it's
I like the
just-
colors. It's
I
just-
think bad's a good word.
it's
for
too
it.
intricate.
That's a great word.
It's too
for it.
intricate. Like I like their current one more.
I might like the Falcons more than this.
Really.
I was thinking right there.
There's
I
not
like
bad.
it right
I
there.
think right
yeah,
there.
it's ahead of the pencil drawings, but
yeah.
at the last of the actual logos. All right, we got the 49ers here.
Ooh, I like this.
That's a cool one. I
I
like
like
that.
this one a lot.
Maybe
He
behind
looks
the
kinda
Eagles.
cool.
He's shooting a gun, isn't he?
If we're
Yeah.
gonna put that behind the Eagles, we
Uh,
gotta move Carolina down.
It's intricate and it's
I think Carolina should be behind Miami.
I'm
I like
putting-
this, and then Carolina behind Miami.
I like the Jaguars up above that too, right here.
Yeah.
probably.
It's a lot cleaner, and you can have
Yeah,
just, like
I like
like
it.
compared to these two. There's no way that should have been above this.
Yeah. Okay, so moving the Jaguars up or
This
no?
is
That-
no down.
Tampa Bay
Oh.
fucks.
Dude,
Yes.
that's an
This
S.
is-
That's
an
that's
S.
my top one.
That's
to
my
be
top
Yeah.
one too.
That's
it
one.
beats Pat just because it's smaller.
and it's cooler.
Like, it's
You
more
mentioned-
zoomed
you forgot
in.
to mention
Yeah.
cooler.
It's definitely not cooler,
He
but
has
it is
a knife in his.
it is a
mouth.
lot closer.
I think the angle with the hat on how it arcs all the way around and then connects
like a
with
feather.
the feather,
yeah.
like it's so
Yeah.
fucking good.
Like, do you want to have a beer with the Brian the Buccaneer, or whatever that guy's name
Yeah.
is?
Yeah. You're a little scared of him too though. That's the thing.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
knife is like
You don't want to get too drunk because you don't know where the night's going. But
No, you don't want him to get too
yeah,
drunk.
with Pat
Yeah,
the
oh,
Patriot, you
true.
just got to worry about him fighting everybody.
Yeah, Pat will start a fight, especially from
All right.
Boston. All right, we
who's
got
the,
the,
who's
These
the
last
power
twos.
line team?
this is
The
the
Oilers?
Oilers.
Who did they turn to?
The Titans, I believe.
Yeah, they should have
They're
stayed the
not great.
Oilers.
Their logo is definitely better than the Titans logo because no one can
Yeah.
seem to figure out what
No.
that is.
This,
I
this
act-
is
I like
equally
this logo
this is
a lot.
equally as bad.
At least it relates to the
Yeah,
team name.
But at
True.
least we can like
This is
point
a
out
B
that they're
for me.
historically shitty at making logos because they are not doing a good job with
The
a
that.
good
marketing
point.
department was pretty bad.
I maybe ahead of the Jets just because it's
Yeah, it looks prettier.
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, and
Washington
the
are
Redskins.
words.
Yeah.
No, no.
Sorry.
Don't say that.
Washington-
Wait.
Yeah,
no.
my bad. I think it's lackluster in comparison to what it was before it got changed for real. I like
Better
'em-
than the Commanders, though.
Yeah, yeah, true. Let's put them maybe bottom of D.
Bottom.
What?
Or top of D. Sorry.
But the
They're-
Giants?
Yeah, is it better than the
How
Buffs?
is the St. Louis Rams or LA logo that high?
True.
That's true.
The Washington R words are ahead of
So
them.
okay, so what if we put them at the last of C and the other two get bumped?
Agreed.
The Rams and Buffalo go to top of D
Agreed.
like that.
Well,
Giants needs to be ahead. I don't like that helmet. at all, but-
Giants above those two.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
I
it,
like
that's
that.
it right
there we
there.
go, and we've got our
No, move
tier
that
list.
move that goofy elf down, man. That thing blows.
It's better than Denver and
It's
the
definitely
Rs.
better than Denver.
You can't tell
The
me it's
Rs.
not. It's just a D, dude. Those are just letters. At least that's a picture
Can we
of something.
swap the Saints and the Cardinals?
I'm down with that. I like.
Okay,
I like the
that's
Saints.
ticky tack to me. I like they're the
Alright,
exact
alright.
same. Okay, I think we've
I
got our
like
tier
this a
list
lot.
here. Alex, we'll cut
Uh,
back. If you've got any gripes with the tier list, be sure to leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, that concludes today's show. If you're seeing this after the fact, be sure to tune in every Monday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time. We have a good time talking about the sports that are currently in the news. Do we have any